class. So, in the last lecture, we had started with the capital structure theories. In Unit 4, after discussing the impact of leverage on the earning per share and the EBIT EPS analysis, where we see under which financial structures the EPS of the shareholders is maximized, we came to the theoretical aspect of the relationship between the capital structure, overall cost of capital, and the valuation of the firm, for which we are covering four theories: the net income approach, net operating income approach, approach, and the traditional approach. We had covered the net income approach in the last lecture. The assumptions for all the four theories are common. Basic assumptions जो हैं, you have only two sources of finance: equity, debt. Apart from this, the EBIT for the firm is given and it is constant. 100% dividend payout ratio and no corporate taxes. These are the assumptions which are common to all the theories. Under the net income approach, what we saw was that yes, the use of leverage has an impact on the valuation of the firm. Additional जो हम assumption लेके चलते हैं under the net income approach is that cost of equity is always higher than the cost of debt. So this theory says that when the costlier equity is replaced by cheaper debt in the capital structure, then what do you see? You see a fall in the overall cost of capital. As depicted in this graph, cost of equity KE is 15%, whereas cost of debt is 10%. So when you increase the percentage of leverage in your capital structure, you see an overall fall in the cost of capital, which works well for the equity shareholders also, in the sense that their EPS is also enhanced. अब इसके लिए जो basic formulas which we did, yes, these are the basic formulas which we are using under the net income approach, starting with the calculation of cost of debt. These formulas we have done when we were doing the weighted average cost of capital की calculation कर रहे थे. Then cost of debt is I upon D. D is the market value. Since there are no taxes, तो वो जो 1 - T वाली term होती है, that we are not taking here. Cost of equity is profit after tax divided by market value of equity. WACC is EBIT upon V. So I'll write it down here also because this formula we'll be using a lot. AO is EBIT upon V, and V is the sum total of the market value of debt and market value of equity. So under the net income approach, your KO, overall cost of capital, can be calculated using either of the method. One which we have discussed is KO is EBIT upon V, or second is you are taking the individual weights, that is weight of equity into cost of equity plus weight of debt into the cost of debt. So through both the methods, we are able to calculate the overall cost of capital. So one question we did in the class related to the net income approach. I'll just quickly show you the question. So this question, you were given the EBIT, cost of equity, and through that you had to calculate first the market value of equity, क्योंकि डेट की मार्केट वैल्यू आपको दी हुई है 5 लाख रुपीज. We calculated the market value of equity and then the overall value of the firm, as you can see here, which then helped us calculate the weighted average cost of capital or the overall cost of capital. We will practice another question from the net income approach and then we'll move to the next approach. So here on your screens you are having the information related to a company again. You are given the market value of debt and the overall cost of debt along with cost of equity. You need to calculate the total value of the firm and the overall cost of capital. Please start solving the question and then we'll discuss it. So in this question, step 1 is to calculate. Okay, good. So, Aman, I'll just check the answer also. For the rest of you, in step 1, you are calculating the value of equity, जो आपकी आएगी through the formula. So through this formula NI, net income available to equity shareholders divided by KE, you will get the market value of equity. In the second step, you calculate the value of the firm by adding the value of debt and equity. And in the third step, through the EBIT and the V, you calculate the KO. Yes, the correct answer is 11.42%. This is coming out to be the overall cost of capital. Rest of you can also check. So the first thing that we deduct is the interest, which comes out to be 45,000. 2,55,000 is your net income. Accordingly, the value of equity will come out to be 2,55,000 divided by 0.12. Yes, 21,25,000. Debt की value is given and stable at 5 lakh rupees. So your overall value of the firm is 26 lakh 25,000. You put the values in the last formula and you are getting the overall cost of capital as 11.42%. So the net income approach is a debt relevance approach. Capital structure is relevant for the firm. We will now move to the second approach, which is the net operating income approach, which is a debt irrelevance or capital structure irrelevance approach. Okay, so let's understand what is the net operating income approach. Now, net operating income approach was also given by David Durant, but it is the stark opposite of the net income approach. The net operating income approach says that capital structure decisions are totally irrelevant for the firm. It does not matter that how much leverage is the firm using. The firm, the shareholders, they capitalize the firm on the basis of the EBIT given. So, for a given value of EBIT, as per this approach, the value of the firm remains same whether you are moving at 0% leverage or 10% or 50% or 60%, irrespective of the capital composition. The value of the firm depends on the overall cost of capital. So it is not the percentage of leverage that matters here. What matters is the EBIT and the overall cost of capital. The capital structure decision for a firm is totally independent, and the debt content in the capital structure is not impacting the overall value of the firm. Now, what is very important here is under this approach is that the shareholders in the first point also this is given that the shareholders they calculate the market value of the firm by capitalizing the net operating income. तो your EBIT जो आपको constant दिया हुआ है, the overall cost of capital is considered. The market value is calculated in the first point. You can see V is calculated by capitalizing the EBIT at the overall cost of capital, which is given to be constant. So, since the overall cost of capital is constant, so any percentage of leverage will not impact the value of the firm. अर्निंग पोटेंशियल जो फर्म का है EBIT है वो कांस्टेंट है, वो भी चेंज नहीं हो रही ड्यू टू चेंज इन कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर. This theory says that earning capacity is impacted only by the business risk. सो जो बिजनेस के ऑपरेटिंग कंडीशंस हैं जो उसमें रिस्क प्रेजेंट है, दैट मैटर्स, फाइनेंशियल रिस्क डज नॉट मैटर. सो द ओवरऑल वैल्यू ऑफ द फर्म रिमेन्स द सेम irrespective of the debt equity proportion in the capital structure, and value of the firm is calculated by capitalizing the EBIT or the net operating income at the overall cost of capital. So what you do when you are solving questions as per the NOI approach, we first calculate the value of the firm, which is equal to EBIT divided by KO, and through that we calculate the value of equity. So you can see in the second point, value of equity is total value of the firm minus the value of debt, and this further helps us to calculate the cost of equity. Now, the financing pattern is irrelevant. This can also be depicted in this graph. Before the graph, the propositions have been summarized here again. Use of higher debt component, in fact, increases the risk to the shareholders. This point we have discussed multiple times in the class also, that when the financial leverage increases, the risk to the equity shareholders also increases. And this theory says that with an increase in the risk of the shareholders, the overall cost of equity will also increase. So you can see first assumption, cost of capital जो है आपका वो कांस्टेंट रहता है. फर्स्ट proposition of this theory is the cost of capital remains constant. Why does it remain constant? Because whatever is gained through use of cheap debt is balanced off by the increase in cost of equity. Because with increase in debt, the risk of the shareholders increase. This in fact increases the cost of equity. आप देख सकते हो जैसे जैसे डिग्री ऑफ लीवरेज इंक्रीज हो रही है आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी भी इंक्रीज हो रहा है. इट इज एन अपवर्ड मूविंग लाइन. तो कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट का जो भी एडवांटेज था, चीपर कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट यूज करने का जो भी एडवांटेज था, that has been nullified due to increase in cost of equity, and the net effect is that your overall cost of capital remains the same. Increase in cost of equity has offset the benefit of cheaper debt in the capital structure. This is the net operating income approach of capital structure. First things, if any point is not clear, you can ask. If everything is clear, we now move to a couple of questions on the net operating income approach. So let's start with this question. In this question, you are given that the EBIT of a firm is rupees 2 lakh. The overall capitalization rate is 10%. So you are given the EBIT KO 10%, KD 8%, value of debt 3 lakh, and you have been asked to calculate the overall value of the firm and equity capitalization rate as per the NOI approach. So let's start with the first part of the question, because after that you have been asked to calculate the value of firm and equity capitalization also when the debt declines to 2 lakh and when it is increased to 4 lakh. So I'll solve the first part and then the two remaining parts can be solved by you. Please pay attention very carefully. We start with the calculation of the overall value of the firm, and as per the NOI approach, this is calculated by capitalizing the EBIT at the overall cost of capital. So this gives you the value of firm as 20 lakh. In the second step, using the value of firm, we calculate the value of equity as overall value of firm minus the value of debt. So you get the value of equity, market value of equity as 17 lakh rupees. What we now need to calculate is the cost of equity. Cost of equity will be NI upon E. And net income is EBIT minus interest. There are no taxes, I remind you again, divided by the value of equity. आपका इंटरेस्ट आएगा 8% of 3 lakh, which comes to 24,000. You can complete the calculation. 1,76,000. So this is coming to 10.35%. You can also use one more formula. If this is easier, you can go for this. Otherwise, KE can also be calculated as KO So you can start with the second part of the question. By that time, there's some network issue. With the same values, you need to calculate the value of the firm and cost of equity as per the NOI approach. If the proportion, yes, I'm sorry, there was some network error. So I've asked you to calculate the second and third part. Second part says that the proportion of debt declines to 2 lakh rupees, whereas in the third part, the proportion of debt is raised to 4 lakh rupees. Under both the conditions, please calculate the overall value of the firm and the cost of equity. Okay, so I have one answer in the chat box. Please verify. Others also put the answer in the chat box. Please check the answer shared by Gaurav is correct. When the debt is 2 lakh rupees, the overall value of the firm is coming to 20 lakh and the cost of equity comes to 10.22%. On the other hand, when the proportion of debt is raised to 4 lakh, overall value of the firm is the same at 20 lakh, क्योंकि आपके तीनों पार्ट्स में when we are assuming EBI to be constant, as per NOI approach, the market value of the firm remains the same. So in all the three parts that you have solved, you can clearly see that the value of the firm is fixed at 20 lakh rupees. There is a change in value of equity, which is bringing a change in the cost of equity. And for the third part, the cost of equity is coming to 10.5%. Take 2 minutes, please complete the solution because then we will conclude the solution as per the NOI approach. And the ones who have made some calculation mistakes, please correct them. Okay, so I can see that you have corrected your solution. So what do we conclude? We see that starting with the first part across the three parts, the value of the firm remains the same. What is happening is when the amount of debt in the capital structure increases, जो आपने थर्ड पार्ट में करा है, the value of debt in the capital structure is increasing to 4 lakh rupees, तब आपका जो कॉस्ट ऑफ इक्विटी है वो भी इंक्रीज हो गया है. First part में cost of equity was 10.3%. In the second part, as you people have calculated, the cost of equity was 10.22% because amount of debt had decreased. But in the third part, the cost of equity is the highest at 10.5% because जो अमाउंट ऑफ डेट है कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर में वो भी इंक्रीज हो गया है. So NOI approach says value of the firm remains the same, but usage of more leverage or increasing the debt content in the capital structure will lead to an increase in the cost of equity.